Hey guys. Well, I was gonna put Tuesdays and Thursdays together on Thursday, like I did last week's Tuesday, Thursday. I put those together yesterday. And then I was like, no, I want them to be separate so that we can spend a little bit more time and I don't feel like I have to go so fast. So we talked a little bit yesterday about how to set the goals, and I told you how to chunk it down so that you're really just looking at a day-to-day actual activity that you've kind of like backed into based on where you want your end of the month goal to be. So that could be income or volume or whatever you're tracking. Pick one key performance index, that's what we say in the real world of business, that you're going to follow and track. What you focus on grows, and you want to be following just one key performance index for your business over a certain time period. So you can track it for a week, you can track it for a month, you can track it for a quarter. So some people like to track their goals for 90 days. I like to do my goals for the week and for the day. And I like for my team to do that so they can really like look at the small goals. But once you get bigger, you can start looking at your goals and your key performance indexes or your parts of your business that you're going to track, and you're going to look at as a whole. Here's the kicker. You should not be tracking just volume or income, because that is not going to help you move the number. You need to be tracking your business building activities that are getting you to that volume and income. So if you made $100 this month, you should know how many of each of your parts of your DMO you have done. Let me grab this again in case you still don't know what I'm talking about. You should have the number of each of these activities you've been doing, and then you can look at those activities with your coach, or if you don't have a coach, I want you to learn to coach yourself. You are your own team until your team shows up, and if you're not getting help from your upline, then you can do this on your own. And you want to be following this. So the easiest way to do this is just on a regular piece of paper, take out and do little hashtags for how many reach outs did you do today? How many engagements did you do today? How many people did you send friend requests to? That should always be 25, by the way. And how many posts did you put up? Okay. And you can say where you put the post up if you want to. You can track if you put it up in your stories. You can track if you put links in your stories. You can track all that. And when those numbers change, you can see how that's trickling out to your volume and your income, right? So when we're working on social media, it's very different. You track different things. And when you're trying to grow an audience on social media and you're trying to get that influence going and you're trying to bring people to you and understand what they're liking and what they're not liking, you want to track different things. Like it could be your likes and comments based on topics for reels or posts or even story views. Like when you could focus on your story views. How many stories did I put up? What were the topics of my stories, or your pillars, content pillars, if you want to say, branding buckets, whatever you want to call the parts of your brand or your topic for what you're talking about in your stories, in your posts, likes and comments. Which ones are gaining more attention? If you're not tracking that, you wouldn't know. I have my team track that sometimes because I'm like, we still don't know what your audience wants to hear. We are still wondering what they're going to get excited about. We're throwing stuff at the wall. Nothing's sticking. Maybe you're not making any sales. You have to be tracking something. So my favorite thing to track, and the number one thing you should be tracking every single freaking day, and I still do this myself, every day you wake up in the morning, I write my volume down, and I write the number of friends that I have on Facebook, even today. I've gone all the way up to 4,800, and now I'm like, I think it's 2537 this morning. And I want to see that number fluctuating between 2,500 and 3,000 is where I like to see it. I'm going to add and subtract. I'm going to be doing that all the time. I'm deleting as I'm doing birthdays. I'm deleting as people aren't responding to me. If I'm sending them messages and they're not replying, or then they stop watching, then unfriend. Okay, because that's not somebody who you're going to be able to do business with. So I'm deleting as I go, and I'm adding as I go. I'm always sending those friend requests, but you can't just send friend requests. You got to delete. Otherwise, you're going to get up into the area where Facebook realizes that you're kind of like spammy. You can have as many followers as you want, but you can't communicate with all your followers. I have 10,000 So I have 10,000 followers who I can't message. And that is, a problem. I mean, we all love to have followers. Yeah, they can click my link anytime they want it, and they can reach out to me, but I can't reach out to them because they're not friends with me and they're not going to see my message. So you can have as many followers as you want, which is great on Facebook, but you can only message your friends. And so if I have a friend who is not messaging me back or is not looking at my stuff anymore, then I start to delete them so I can make room for somebody else. Sometimes based on when people interact with my stuff, if I'm not friends with them, I'll send them a friend request. So that I can message them and be like, hey, you liked something that I did. I wanted to reach out and say, were you just cheering me on, or were you looking for more information on that? So tracking what you do every day. Your coach cannot help you at all if you don't give them anything. So when someone comes to me and they're like, well, I'm just not getting any sales. I'm like, okay, how many friends do you have on Facebook right now? I write, as soon as I start with them, I write that number down and I keep it in my list. I have just I'll show you my binder. This is my binder for myself and my team, and I have them all divided up. These are the months of the year, and then these are my individual team dividers. And every time I have a call, I just take a plain sheet of notebook paper. I don't make it complicated, and I write down the date, and I write down what we talked about, and I write down the action activities they're going to do, when we're going to follow up, and they are responsible for getting that back to me. They can either send it to me every day, or we can go over it when we get on a call again. But when we get on an accountability call, like, I want to make $100 this month. Okay, here are the business activities that you need to be doing in order to create that $100. When we follow up, I want to see those numbers. And if I don't have those numbers to see, I assume they weren't done. So if you don't write it down, it doesn't get done. Just like in healthcare, I came from healthcare. If you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. Like, literally, if it didn't get documented, it wasn't done, period. So when you're writing these things down and you're tracking them, one, you can show yourself how much you're not working. Because let me just tell you, when you first started tracking this, you're like, I feel like I've been working all day. And then you realize, oh, I didn't even get 25 friend requests sent. I didn't even reach out to 25 people. I didn't reach out to anybody. Oh, I only posted 2 times or whatever. So, and it's not necessarily the frequency that you do any of this, although I will always say at least 25 friend requests, at least 5 days a week. And I track these 5 days a week. So for me, I do work my business every day, but I really work my business like a real business 5 days a week, and 2 days a week, I work it like I was doing when I was full-time, like almost more like a hobby. I'm just checking in, I'm double checking, I'm following up with people, I'm doing some likes and comments and reaches out, I'm scheduling my posts, but 5 days a week, I'm working my business like a real job. And I like to do that because then 2 days a week, I have like leftover days, like, oh, my Tuesday and Thursday got completely railroaded, so now I can catch up on Saturday, Sunday, or whatever if I want to. So I like to do that. I monitor what I'm doing, because if I didn't make enough money, or if I didn't produce the volume, or I didn't hit the goal that I had set, I can go back and see, oh, I didn't work those days, or I wasn't doing those activities, or I need to do more of them. Or I can take it to my coach and be like, here are the things I'm doing, and I'm still not where I want to be. Listen, I don't even have to go to my coach. I know when I'm not where I want to be exactly what's happened every single time. You didn't hit your volume. I can tell you exactly what. So you want to start doing that for yourself so that you can help your team do it for themselves as well. But in the beginning, you're going to have to help them. They can't coach themselves until you show them how to do it. And they're never going to be able to coach anybody else unless they see you coaching them, right? So track your goals. When you set them, go back and watch the one I did from yesterday. Chunk down your goals so that they're daily, based on, I need to have this many conversations to get this many people ask for information, to have this many people ask for a link, to have this many people buy. Once you get your first sale, then you can go back and say, okay, I sent out this many links. Before that, I had this many people ask for information. Before that, I messaged this many people. And here's what I'm telling you guys. The sales are happening in Messenger. The sales are because you reached out to them, not cold messaged, but reached out. I should have done this on Zoom so I could share my screen, but here, I'm just gonna explain to you what that might look like. And you don't, this is not a one-trick pony here. You can build businesses all different ways. This isn't the only way to do it. I'm just sharing, this is how I've done it, and you might do it something that looks like this, or however you want to do it. This is the cool part of owning your own business, is you can do it your way, right? So today I spent a little over an hour going back to every single curiosity post that I did that's bolded here. All of my curiosity posts, my curious business posts, my gratitude posts, my FOMO posts, my recruiting posts. I went back. I haven't done the recruiting ones yet. I went back to every like and every comment, and you know how many I missed? A whole freaking bunch of them. People who had liked, who I never saw like, and I'm not getting notified. People who had asked for, I have one girl who asked for information. Listen, she's another direct seller saying she wants to buy one of my devices. 4 weeks ago, she asked for information and I never got back to her. I inboxed her this morning telling her how sorry I was. Thank God she's in direct sales because she knows what I'm talking about. So basically what I'm doing is exactly what we've talked about here, is we're reaching out to anyone who likes and comments on any of these posts. So if they comment, they're asking for information, then you inbox them. Hey, here's the information on what you were looking for, but you want to follow up. So now I'm following up with everybody. Probably a little too late because I was busy, traveling. Hey, so sorry, it's been a while since I followed up. Do you have any questions on that? They were on back order. Now they're not. Can I get you a link? Are you ready to check out? I have a drawing going. I have a freebie. I have a special. You get a free this if you buy that. Whatever you want to tell them, you're going to follow up. It's a good chance to be following up. So when you're going through, once you get your one sale, you want to go back and look at how many times did I send a link? How many people did I send a link to? Before that, how many people asked for more information? Before that, how many conversations did I have? How many times did I reach out and say, hey, this is one of my favorites. If you have a product group especially. So once a quarter, I message every person that I can, so all my friends in my product group. My product group, I think, is 1,200 people big. And I'd say 2/3 of them are actual friends with me. So I will go through every person and say, hey, I'm just curious what my algorithm's doing. Have you seen any of my body contouring device posts this week? And I'm just curious. I'm not asking them to buy it. I'm not asking them, do they know somebody? I'm just saying, have you seen any posts talking about firming or body contouring this month, this week, whatever you want to say? It's a great way to, number one, just because you message them, it pushes your group posts into their feed. It pushes your personal posts into their feed. And they can respond with no pressure. Like, no, I haven't seen anything. But guess what they're going to see right after they respond? Your very next post. And it starts the conversation. No, but I am interested. I didn't know. Where is that information? And they start to ask. So this morning, let me go back and see. I'm going to pick some who haven't responded and some have. Let me see. Go back to a couple of them I've been going back and forth with. This girl right here. I said, hey, blank, thanks so much for the like on my contouring device firming cream post last month. I'm curious, did you want more information on that, or were you just cheering me on over here? And she said, I'm cheering you on. I'm a aesthetics nurse minus injectables. I love to support women who care for themselves. I'm French Canadian, and it's part of my culture to emphasize. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you know, but I actually have a French Canadian team, and I'll be in Canada in May doing a training. How interested, would you be to hear about how you can open up another 6 figures with e-commerce, almost like your own franchise, international, totally virtual, you don't have to own or have a thing and it doesn't cost any. How interested would you be in that? So I'm having a conversation with her about, and I would have never known this had I not said, thanks for the like on my post. By the way, last month, because I'm such a loser, I'm just now getting to it. Were you interested in more information or just cheering me on? I would have never had this conversation with her, and now she's looking at the business opportunity. And I will be in Canada in literally just weeks. What is this? April? Yeah, I'm going in May. And my whole French Canadian team is going to be there. I mean, I said, I don't think it's coincidence that we're having this conversation. And there's totally no pressure. I don't talk anyone into joining my team, but it would not be very kind of me to not share a way that you can create an additional 6 figures with your time online. You have people who are already following you in this space. So it might be a good fit. Take a look. So she's taking a look. So, and then if she's near where I'm traveling to, we're going to get together and have coffee, or we'll get on a Zoom and have a chit chat about it. So, and this is all because I messaged a like. Okay. So that's the reach outs. That is a reach out. When you're reaching out to somebody who liked or commented on your stuff, that is a reach out. Also, following up with anybody who asked for information. You should be following up 8 times. Most people, and there's some sales statistics. Sales statistics. It's on a color block. It's featured in this group. They are up there. It's 8. Most sales happen between the 5th and 8th time that you've had a conversation with somebody. So many of you guys are sending the information and then you're never following back up. I mean, I get around 100 messages a day in my inbox on Facebook. That's my average. I send and receive at least that many, maybe more. So if you ask me about something and I get 100 messages today and 100 messages tomorrow and 100 messages the next day, in 3 days, you're buried 300 messages deep. Do you think I'm going to remember? No. And the average customer also is not going to remember. And unless you have like a name they can remember and they'd be like, what was her name? Angela. Okay, I can search Angela. Well, let me tell you, when they search Jennifer, everybody comes up. So that's not helpful. So don't be afraid to reach back out to your people and track that. So you're tracking how many times did you reach out to customers. If you want to get in the nitty gritty, you can say, I reached out to the likes and comments. I reached out to messengers as a follow-up, second touch, third touch, fourth touch, fifth touch, sixth touch, whatever. You can say that if you want to, so that your coach has more to work with. How many engagements did I do? Those are happy birthday. Those are loving and commenting on their post. Those are the people who are going to see your next post. So if somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm not getting any likes and comments, I'm going to say, let me see your engagements for the last 2 weeks. And if they don't have anything to give me, I'm going to say, well, it looks like you're not engaging. And so that's where I want you to start. I want you to start by engaging with at least 50 people, 25 in the morning, 25 at night, every single day for 7 days. And take a screenshot of the likes and comments you're getting now. And then in 7 days, after you've engaged with 50 people, morning and 25 morning and night, then we're going to come back and we're going to look at that. And we're going to see if it's changed. And if it hasn't changed, then we can talk about, what are you posting? Are you posting things that are interesting to the people that are following you? Maybe we need to change up what you're posting. Let's go look at some posts that did the best, your highest ranked post. By the way, if you change your account to creator, it will show you what your most highly engaged and interacted with posts are. And you can be like, every time I post my husband, every time I put my husband's bald head on a post, I'm no lie, I get tons of likes and comments. That's why I post him all the time. I mean, I do love him and I'm very grateful, but I wouldn't be posting him all the time on my Facebook page if it wasn't driving engagement. Sorry, Bo. So you want to be tracking this, because if you don't track it, you will never get to your goal. You will never get to your goal. It's like driving to your sister's house for the very first time as soon as she moves, and way before GPS, and not writing down how you got there. It would be like if you loosely followed sort of a roundabout what you think the way was, but you didn't actually write it down. How are you going to get back there again? How are you going to know, like, if I took this turn, it goes faster. If I took that turn, it goes faster. So make sure you're tracking. And I should put on here your Facebook friends. Hands down, the number one thing you should be tracking every single day in your business, 150 million%, is your Facebook friends. Because if that number is not going up every single day, that's why you're not making any sales. There's nobody in your store. There's literally nobody in your store. And we can start there. So when someone says, I'm not really getting any sales, I'm feeling discouraged, I say, flip, flip, flip. You had 1,273 friends last time we talked, and that was a month ago. How many friends do you have now? Oh, 1,271? So 3 people unfriended you. Or you got rid of 3 people. Those 1,200 people already saw your stuff and didn't want it last month. Why do you think they're going to want it again? If you've gone through your warm market, when you first put something up, everybody's like, when I first put something up, everybody likes it and buys it, and then all of a sudden they don't. That's because you're outside of your warm market. We did a whole team training about this that was so amazing with my friend Allison. And she was like reminding us, like, you're outside of your warm market when your sales start to tank. And if, by the way, you weren't funneling new people into your Facebook friends that entire time that you were going through your warm market, because you're like, oh my God, everybody wants this, I can't keep up. If you weren't funneling people and backfilling with new customers, then they already saw everything you have or whatever. Like, you need to come up with a new product. You need to come up with a new pony. You need to come up with something different for them to look at. You can engage with them all day long. If they didn't want it in May, they're not going to want it in July. You either need to come up with a new something that they want, or you need to start paying attention to what do they need. And so here's why you're engaging. When you're engaging, you're doing it for 3 reasons. 1, to game the algorithm to show them your stuff. 2, to discover which friends have the most active Facebook pages who might be good prospects for your team. 3, what are they bitching about? What are your friends bitching about collectively? If you don't know, you're not reading their posts and you're not engaging with them. Are they bitching about they don't want to go back to work on Monday? Are they bitching about groceries costing too much? Are they bitching about the price of gas? Are they bitching about how travel was so expensive they couldn't afford their ticket to go back to visit mom and dad? Are they bitching about taking care of old people? Are they bitching about toddlers? Are they bitching about how expensive diapers are? Daycare? Are they bitching about back to school costs, camp fees? Are they bitching about healthcare costs, insurance rates going up, co-pays being outrageous? They hate their boss. What are they bitching about? And how can your opportunity solve those problems? You're not going to inbox them and say, hey, Sarah, I heard you say you couldn't pay for diapers last week. I have a way to help you. No. Your next post, though, if they're following you, you probably have little babies, is how grateful am I? I am so blessed and grateful that a couple posts on Facebook literally paid for diapers for the whole month. I still can't believe I get to do this. It's a picture of you and your kid in the Target shopping center or standing in the diaper aisle. Is that a coincidence? No. Sarah was bitching about not having enough money for diapers. You commented on her post, oh my God, girl, I feel your pain. And that evening, you're shopping for diapers, or even if you're not, you have a picture in the diaper aisle, or you go real fast and get one, and that's your post. And guess what? Sarah sees it. And Sarah's like, oh shit. How is she doing this with posts on her social media page? So if you're not tracking some stuff to know that a lot of my friends are bitching about diapers, then you wouldn't know to create content specifically around how lucky am I? I'm creating extra money that's solving this diaper situation. Or like college costs. Oh, I didn't realize how expensive it actually was going to be. Do you know a college book is like $250 and they need like 7 of them? I mean, so you should be tracking, and you can't track everything all the time, okay? So work with your coach. What is your goal? What business activities do you need to get there? Pick one at a time that you're really going to focus on. If you don't know what to focus on, pick at least these 4 and focus on them for a week and see where you can start to make a difference. Like, oh, you know, I thought I was really doing a good job, but it looks like I'm only adding 5 people a day. So check, there's one place that I can get started. So track what you're doing. Just like when you're trying to lose weight, what's the first thing they tell you? Track your macros. Write every freaking thing down that you put in your mouth, including those little like tastes and eating off your kid's plate, so that we can finally start really seeing actually what's going on so we can help you. Oh, you're eating all carbs? Let me help you. Oh, you're not eating enough protein? Let me help you. But where do you start if you haven't been tracking? So track, you guys. Track. And if you don't want to track, let's talk about why you don't want to track. Is it because you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you don't want to show yourself how lame it is that you said you were going to do something, you set a goal, and then you just flat out didn't do it? And if that's the case, let's chat it out. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you putting up the posts? They're right here. Why aren't you? And then you need to really discover, like, is it making me feel some sort of way and that is why I don't feel like doing it? How can I get into my own head and change my story so that it feels good to do this next thing, to reach out to do this? And I work with my team on that as well. I hope your upline does as well. Where I say, how is this feeling? And then we come up with something that feels better. It's not going to all feel great. It's going to be a stretch. But how is this feeling? If they keep coming to me and there's no engagements, or there's no reply, like reach outs, and there's always a 0, and I'll be like, well, why aren't you doing that? Tell me, like, what feeling comes up when you think about reaching out with these 5 posts where you have 10 likes on each one? That's 50 people that you could message right now. What feeling is coming up that you're not messaging them? And then we work on that. So track whatever you want. And if you don't know what to track, ask your coach. What do you track when you're trying to move this needle? And it needs to be something related to social media if you're selling on social media, okay? If you're not selling on social media, if you're doing in-person stuff like parties and stuff, there's going to be a whole different combination of things to track. Like, how many parties are you having? How many people are you following up with? Are you asking them to, write down a list of their 10 friends that you can reach out to because she would love to get a free bracelet for having a party? I don't know. Like, are you following up with those people? Are you asking? Are you so there should be trackable somethings. And if you want to start somewhere, track your Facebook friends. Are your Facebook friends total going up by, on average, I would say 5 to 10 people a day? So if you're sending 25 friend requests to the right people, okay, not from people you may know, not from there, to the right people. What time is it? You're killing it in your social media business if your phone's about to die at 12. So I have to get off because I will die in just a minute. But you should be seeing 5 to 10 new people on your Facebook page every day, at least 5 days a week. So I'm looking for 50 new people a week in my Facebook friends list, 50 new people. And then you're messaging them, hey, thanks so much for the connection. I really look forward to your posts. Or you find something that they just posted on. I just loved your dog and I had to connect. I really look forward to your posts. I appreciate you. Connect with them. Talk to them. That counts as a reach out, by the way. I reached out to somebody. I said, hi. All right, you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. This catches us up. Tomorrow we will be talking about, I can't even freaking remember. So see you there and I'll be on time. Bye, y'all.